So, this is how we're going to be covering Extra Mode. And would you believe that I had to sit through the entire demo just to view that screen? This demo lasts for a few minutes, basically to show off what Kirby can do in the game. But this is what Nightmare in Dreamland was based on. This is the original game made all the way back in 1993 for the NES or the Famicom. This came out very late into the NES's lifespan. Not as late as Wispy Woods, but still pretty late. Yeah, this was a game in the twilight of that generation. But there is a story to this, and while it may be told a little bit differently, it's still the same story as Nightmare in Dreamland. And while Kirby had different colors for his body as well as different hats, Kirby didn't exactly have that with this game, and a lot of the sprites are smaller in this game. And speaking of smaller sprites, well, as soon as we get to the flamer that will turn Kirby into the fireball, you see how small Bugsy is now? Yeah. Bugsy isn't that big imposing bug he was in the GBA version. So yeah, let's talk about the story of Kirby's adventure. One day, the peaceful life of Dreamland was shadowed by a mysterious crisis. The inhabitants of Dreamland could not dream. On the edge of Dreamland, dreams and hopes once gushed forth from the dream spring fueled by the Star Rod. In investigating the dream spring, Kirby found naughty King Dedede swimming in its magical waters. Then why didn't you stop him there? Dedede had broken the Star Rod and given the piece to his friends, who are now hiding in Dreamland. To bring back the lost dreams, Kirby sought the Star Rod. Now, if there's one thing I have a gripe about, is how quiet the audio is on the game, on the NES's Virtual Console. But since we've already been the regular story, well, this is what the ending looks like for the original game. Extra Game. Congratulations! Choose Extra Game to go on a more challenging quest. In this quest, you can't save and your max health is 3. This is what Meta Nightmare mode is based on. While you unlock Extra Game as a 100% bonus, basically you unlock it. Basically, what this was is what became Meta Nightmare. And if you know your Kirby, you should be able to beat this without saving. So yeah, let's pick this, and let's play the Extra Game. It's time to go to Vegetable Valley, but this time on the NES. Don't expect too many NES games on this channel, unless it's like part of a bigger project, because NES games are typically short unless it's Final Fantasy. And no, if I cover a Final Fantasy game, I'm not playing the original NES Final Fantasy. I'll probably hunt down the Dawn of Souls release. Anyway, of course there are also different descriptions for the abilities, like Kirby fires a beam like that used by some enemies. It's an easy weapon to use. And look at that adorable drawing of Kirby on the on the pause menu. Like, speaking of adorable, like, Japanese Kirby commercials are absolutely adorable, but also pretty amazing, because they're usually either very exciting or absolutely cute. And let's talk about the two commercials that are related to the games you've been playing. Now, I could talk about the how the remakes commercials are basically people in karaoke, and I'm not sure how that relates to, oh right, mic ability, and how it shows 4-player action. But okay, as soon as you, I think I went a little too low there, but you have to be careful when entering there. You only have one life, but basically, it was like the trailer, like the commercials showed some footage of the 4-player, but in terms of the original, like Kirby had some absolutely adorable debut commercials. Like if I can talk about, yeah, that guy is gone. I'm not kidding, and you won't be able to get him again unless you, yeah. Also, yeah, the game's controls are weird. Spark. Kirby can create fireworks like sparks from his body. This is a great defense, and great indeed. But yeah, this game is a lot harder because not only are we dealing with NES controls, which means there's going to be some jank because of the aging hardware, but we're also going to be dealing with me having to use a Wii remote instead of just the normal classic controller. Now, there's nothing stopping me from using the classic controller. It's just that, well, I might as well just show off the option. Since the Wii remote is loosely based off an NES controller, well, might as well go with that. Speaking of which, yes, the minigames, they exist, but they're drastically different. So, let's look at this one. So instead of hot potato, we have crane fever. Yeah, you remember those cranes that always had those prizes that you can never get? Yeah, this is one of them. I think it went a little too far. I'm not going to get a one up here. And I was not expecting the delayed controls. But yeah, no bonus. I promise to do better next time, but yeah. But we did not need to worry about like secrets in the first two worlds. However, there is a secret here that goes unused in the remake for this game. You may notice that I did not show one thing when going through Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. And that's the first appearance of the Howl room. You see this star? Don't touch it. Just trying to jump over that. You need to off-screen it enough. Like, you're supposed to off-screen it, and not by doing that. I swear Kirby's jump can be... And, as you can see, the star is gone. And, would you look at that? The Howl logo. This is the very first Howl room, and because this is a Howl room, we have someone making sure to keep the place clean. Congratulations, Broom Hatter, but your services are no longer needed. I'm running away with a Broom Hatter. But yeah, that's the Howl room in a nutshell. The Howl room exists in the files of Nightmare in Dreamland, but because of how the game is programmed, you cannot access it the same way, meaning that it goes unused in the final. Anyways, time to face Poppy Brothers Sr., and he really looks like a junior right now. And boy, those jumps, seriously, those are some legs. Because they look so large, like, why does he jump so far? Eh! I got conked in the head. However, this is going a little bit better than normally, so fortunately. And the other best part? Crane fever, I get to have a second shot. Now, I'm not going to try to go for that other Kirby, but excuse me, how was that not in the crane? Let's try that again. Now look at this. It's in the crane, and it's barely holding on, but it was going to fall off. That's how those cranes work. You'd be lucky for them to hang on. gotta stop screwing up like that. And big Poppy Brothers jumps. So what does the crash look like in the original? Well, since we got into this room, we can show it off. So in the original, rather than being an explosion, it's just Kirby going all over the place. And, yeah. I probably should have showed the description first, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, this game is going to be a lot trickier to play through because of the half health bar, meaning that you have to approach it differently. And let's just say this particular version is not exactly the easiest to go back to, admittedly. This is an NES game. We're going to be dealing with some NES jank, and yeah. And just like that, I failed the jump. So, let me get straight to the next level. And I didn't mean to do that. Exit stage. Wrong door. Now, next level. Yeah. And, ugh. That was so close. But on top of one of the things I mentioned in one of the failed takes for this, believe me, I had many trying to start this particular part of the Let's Play, is that that's the wrong button. Is that in the like pre-release material, Kirby was supposed to have. It was originally going to have like a set of stars for the hit points. I don't know what made them change their mind on this, but it's not known if the stars would have been Kirby always having 3 hit points, or the stars would have broken in half. But yeah, there were also a bunch of levels that were shown in the pre-release material, but does not exist in the final. And you can look this up yourself. I will link the TCRF page about this after the fact. But yeah, the one thing I'm not able to hear that much is the music, because apparently Virtual Console NES music is very freaking quiet. Like, if I turned it up, you'd hear a very loud Wii U menu coming out my mic. Or coming from my mic. Whatever. It's just that you can barely hear it, and I'd be only able to hear it in post-editing. But, yeah. Now we're here at Vegetable Valley 4, and we got Frosty. Or we had Frosty. In fact, I think this game is a little bit easier than the original because of certain elements. But there is quite a bit of jank here. So much for having ice. But yeah, there's also some other differences here besides the looks of the game. Like, well, not that. Anyways, there are quite a few differences here besides the looks of the game and such, and, like, it's quite interesting to see that there was levels that we couldn't see in the prototypes or even an earlier health bar. But I swear Kirby's control is on a bit of a delay. Needle, let's look at it. Lots of needles, just like a porcupine's. Come on out, come out of Kirby. It's a great defense. So, yeah, they're a bit more simplified. It will tell you if it's a great defense or it's easy to use or something like that. But, yeah, the main appeal of this game was the copy abilities, and Well, it's not dying again. But that's essentially what it was. Where Kirby can actually take the enemy's powers and use it against them. And I didn't know the needles could unneedle. But yeah. One thing that's different here, you see Meta Knight actually throw the invincibility candy rather than just the candy being like on the ground in the first place. Oh, what? Okay, that's some more NES jank. Okay then. Wow. Well, might as well make up for the lives we lost here, but yeah. There's a lot different here, and this should give you a taste of it. And speaking of a taste of something different, we got the boss, which is going to be Wispy Woods. I already went over the bosses without an ability, so I'm not going to be ashamed about using an ability here. This is Wispy Woods. And boy, he looks so dopey. Also, the beam ability is better here because you can actually tell where its hitbox is. And look, not a single hit. I did that with 1 HP left. But yeah. So next time on Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, or rather Kirby's Adventure in this case, we're gonna continue extra mode through Ice Cream Islands. So I was initially going to add the end card here, but because of how short this part is, I am just going to immediately begin part 2. Or rather, what was supposed to be part 8. Anyway, back to the video. Greetings everyone, welcome back to Kirby's Adventure. It is me, Galen, and why did I not say Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland? Because we're not in Nightmare in Dreamland right now. I'm basically just covering the extra mode while showing what the original game is like. And if you're wondering why this game looks so fuzzy in display, it's because I wish I could change it, but you couldn't. We are entering Ice Cream Islands, and if anyone wonders why I was so tired in the last part, it's because I lost an entire night of sleep trying to fix this problem when my computer decided, hey, you know this random file you were using, we decided it won't work now. Now all of them won't work. And I was worried that I was going to lose access to my OGGs forever. But yeah, this is me being very reckless like usual. But yeah, this is Ice Cream Islands. This is the sword ability. Use the sword to defeat enemies. If you attack in midair, Kirby will spin and slash. And let's just say the weapon ability, specifically the sword and the hammer, they're a lot faster here. And another thing I was gonna bring up is that I don't think I brought it up fully in the last part. I was really freaking tired and I was getting worried for my cat, so I had to check on things. I got so tired that I couldn't even continue what I was doing. But now I'm fully rested and I died in the tornado. Well, we can actually continue this part. So, the tornado. Kirby can now spin and bump away his foes. Hold the B button to spin into midair. Like so. This is an ability that is seen as a favorite among speedrunners. And already the first level is done and we get an extra life. I guess we made up for that lost life we had earlier. But I was about to bring up the Japanese Kirby commercials, specifically for Kirby, Nightmare in Dreamland and Kirby. Well, not Nightmare in Dreamland, but Adventure and the first one. They're absolutely adorable. Now, let's talk about Kirby's Dreamland commercial. that commercial is adorable for many reasons, because you have this kid learning how to sing a little song that teaches you how to draw Kirby. In fact, that particular song would be the basis for the intro song in this game. The part where you see how to draw Kirby, that was based on that commercial. And I gotta wonder, how's the kid in that commercial doing now? It has been like, what, 30 years since that commercial aired? I wonder what they're up to. And I hope it's good, because I hate when like, oh hey, this meme star, they were popular back in the day, and then I wonder what they're up to. They're making a 3-letter scam. And I really don't like doing that. The moment I hear them say, I'm thinking of making the 3-letter scam, and then that's when I click out the video. Because I don't like it when they take advantage of their popularity like that. But, and I meant to use that. Have it. But yeah, that was Grand Willie, and because I was talking about how much I dislike when popular... There we go, Wheel. Wheel's a lot more basic looking in here. But yeah. It's like, hey, I was popular back in the day, what are you gonna do? Make something that's actually dangerous for the environment? And that always annoys me. Like, really freaking annoys me. Anyway, enough dwelling on that, but again, I really hope that wherever the kid who grew up, wherever the kid is after doing that commercial, I hope they're doing well. Because that's an adorable commercial. The other commercial in question is the Kirby Nightmare, or Kirby's Adventure Japanese commercial, which honestly has the most catchy tune and is always a joy to listen to. It was done by a Japanese folk band, but I can't remember the name of said folk band, but at the end of the commercial, you have Kirby saying best regards, in Japanese, of course, but it is such a catchy commercial whenever I happen to watch it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure many of you have talked about how coincidentally, like, the idea of Kirby's epic yarn matches with that commercial, but it's not. But it turns out it was only a coincidence on that. The commercial was only much of a coincidence. But again, it's such a catchy commercial, and I do recommend you look at that. Better than the commercials we had here, though. Open your parasol and take a nice walk. Do you think this might have other uses too? Yeah, it does. I keep forgetting it's up to puff up. Trying to get this one. There's a UFO power-up, and I feel like I'm going to need a different power-up just to get it. But yeah. Anyway, there we go. But as you can tell, one of the biggest differences with Nightmare and Dreamland and this game is that Nightmare and Dreamland's camera is a bit more zoomed in by comparison to this one. Kirby the benefit with this game is that a lot of the sprites are absolutely small. like, you have a bigger way to view a vision just because of how small everything is sprited and such. And, I mean, it has its charms. It's got a unique look for the game, but I think it's good that Kirby's Adventure had a remake, so that way more folks can play it. In fact, Kirby's Adventure was made during Kirby's 10th anniversary. It wasn't that big of a celebration, but a remake, if a remake is good, then the better. Let's try that again, shall we? Enter the door, and Bandai sends his forces against us. So yeah. Ow. Even after death, he still gets a last laugh. I hate the ones that throw the forks. Of course. But yeah. Oh, nope. There you go. The ones that throw the forks are very dangerous. I'm not kidding. Also, I think Kirby's inhaling range was enhanced in this game. Because I never had this easy of a time trying to inhale one of these enemies. But yeah. Aside from cute commercials, Kirby had some interesting and more celebratory commercials, like, for example, when Kirby's Dreamland 2 was released, it was like big parade floats floating up to the top of the city. I had to figure out when in, like, where that was. There's also... Nope, wrong door. There's also, Kirby's Block Ball, which had three kids or several folk in an alley play, I want to say basketball, before that basketball turns to Kirby and destroys everything in its path. And at the end of the commercial, Kirby like demolishes a building. I gotta wonder if they had to get the rights to demolish a building just for that shot. And speaking of Japanese commercial appreciation, the Kirby 64 commercials. There's also, actually before we get to that, not just Kirby 64, but, the Kirby Superstar Japanese commercial. Kirby Super Deluxe, as it was called over there. Kirby Super Deluxe, had these two guys, I'm pretty sure there are those that remember this commercial clearly, and one of those reasons is that Kirby Super Deluxe is like had these two guys just chanting Kirby-chan, and I mean, it's a pretty memorable commercial. Ah! I am just not playing responsibly, am I? Seriously. Underneath the Scarfy. Now, this room was absent in the original, like, no, in the remake, and, like, it was part of another room. This room. Or, actually, no. I'm thinking of another room, aren't I? Yeah, instead of the Cyclops eye, Kirby's laser, he shoots from his hand. Blam! Kirby can fire a laser beam. This beam will bounce off slopes, so try it in many places. I can't remember what the Dreamland 3 commercial was like, but I think but there was also the the Japanese Kirby 64 commercials, and there's always a lot of there's always a lot of excitement when it came to Japanese Nintendo 64 commercials. But I think the Kirby ones are my favorite, where it shows off the combination copy abilities. We'll get to that game in due time. I do have it on my Wii U after all, but I keep it. Problem with hitting up. Anyway, but my favorite one is when Kirby becomes Double Stone, and when he inhales the 2 stone abilities, well, he just falls through the floor. Like, there are 2 versions, the shortened version and the longer version. Like, you know how when certain commercials are made, there are like 2 different versions, a short version and and the original version? Yeah, Kirby 64 had those. It was one, like Kirby 64's commercials had that, and you don't know how much anxiety that jump was inducing. Okay then, that can happen. That Waldy's just screaming for help. Like, then again, if it's Japan tends to make a lot of things exciting even with just their text, and you can't do this in the original. This was a bigger gap. I mean, not original, in the remake. And excuse me, but yeah. Also, the water was easy to fall through. I keep doing beginner mistakes. Kirby, come on. There we go. Kirby tends to have, pull back a little bit longer when using wheel. I'll stop spending my life away so carelessly. The worst playthrough of Kirby's Adventure on YouTube. Anyway, I struggled actually getting this one started because I had so many outtakes just from the intro alone, because I had to wait for certain parts of the intro to play just to get to the drawing Kirby part. I wish I was kidding. And I lost the entire nights of sleep because my computer decided, hey, this file is corrupted. So I decided to look for a solution, and that solution broke things, and then all it took was just a simple computer reset to fix it, and that's what annoyed me. It was a simple solution, and I lost sleep for it. So much so, I actually had to nap in the afternoon, and it's already halfway through the day. But, alas. I also have to get to bed early tonight because I got a trip to go to in the morning. But aside from that, we're at the boss. Ice Cream Island's boss, in fact. So yeah, this is Paint Roller and how he looked in the original. I think it'll be easier to take him on without needing my ability, because, or I can just use this. Here's one of the abilities. I see you painting over there. We'll cut that out. What's that? You haven't had enough? Well, yeah. And there we go. That is Ice Cream Island. So, if you want to donate, there's a couple links in the description below. If you want to follow this series and any others like it, you can hit subscribe and hit that bell, and you'll be on your way. But you don't have to be, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. With that said, I've been Giggling. I hope you're taking good care of yourself, and I will bid you adieu.